Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Welcome everyone to another spectacular episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond, and today on Thrive Loud, we have a former professional dancer for T-Pain who has been known to share his minimalistic lifestyle of living in a van, but also making six figures per month online while doing it. He is the author of the new book, Start Thinking Rich, and aims to help people have healthier mindsets when it comes to money. Thrive Loud listeners coming to us from Austin, Texas, excited to bring you Adrian Brambila. Adrian, hey. Welcome to Thrive Loud.
So pumped to be here. So nice to meet you for the first time. Yeah. And I hope we get to play some pickleball in person because I hear we're both picklers.
We like to play. I'm getting better every day. I was never a tennis player, so some people say that's to my advantage, I guess, in the sense that because there's a lot of unlearning that you need to do, but I do love the game. We both tend to play in early morning hours, but enough about me and pickle. Adrian, you got a pretty cool story. And me and my team, when we learned about you, were eager to get you on and share it with everybody. So if you could, I want to do a little rewind. No need to go all the way back to the womb, but I kind of want to understand, Adrian, how what you're doing now, how this became your gig.
I think the way I like to start sometimes is like when I was dancing in high school, my favorite rap artist was T-Pain. And in high school, I actually got to see him in concert, and I saw him and he had these dancers, and I thought, man, one day that would be amazing if I could dance for T-Pain. Now I went to college and I was 18 years old, and I went to college in Iowa, a very small town called Dubuque, and there's not much going on. People are really amazing, but wouldn't recommend visiting. And I actually learned how to dance in Iowa because the winters are long. Most people just drink all the time. I didn't want to just party my life away. And after 2 years of learning how to dance the robot from YouTube, T-Pain of all people had an open call audition to dance for him. I submitted a video and I was selected from thousands and thousands of videos to go audition live. To me, at that point, just to make the audition was like, my whole life is complete. It's amazing. And then I think this is God's miracle happened. T-Pain, he was only supposed to pick one dancer and he ended up taking 10. So he brought on this whole dance crew, and like the day before I was a living room dancer. The following day I was a professional one touring with T-Pain. But there was one day in particular that I think really my biggest takeaway. Dancing was fun, meeting celebrities is cool, traveling is amazing. But one day T-Pain launched a song in front of us. This is back in 2010 era. No Spotify, iTunes. If you want to buy a song, it costs 99 cents. He launched a song called Reverse Cowgirl. By the way, it's not a Western. And when he launched it, he looked over at his manager. It was like 10 a.m. He's like, you guys want to hear it and watch the video first? Like, yeah. He plays it for us. Then he's like, hey, let's do it. Launches it. And then on the analytics on iTunes, I remember like watching it, and like he pressed that button, or his manager did, and it was like 100,000 instantly and of downloads. Then it was like 500,000, 1 million. After like 10 minutes, I swear it was like 5 to 6 million downloads. So I was comprehending. I was like, wait a second. I think he just made like over $5 million in a few minutes. And then what he did after that was even more impressive. At around 10:30 a.m., he got really, really drunk. And I was like, hold up. My whole world is being shattered right now of like what it takes to make money. What's like, I always thought it had to be like painful. You have to work hard. You have to sacrifice. And here's someone that just made more money that most people make in their whole lifetime in a few minutes. And then instead of going back into the office and grinding on a laptop, he just got drunk. And I was like, that changed my whole life.
Oh my goodness. So, all right. So that's your introduction And by the way, great story, amazing effort, shows that, you put your mind to it, you could do anything. You see him do this and you get your perception about how money should be made. How did you adopt some of this? And I think even telling a little bit of your story would be pretty fascinating as to what went on during the pandemic, I believe, is actually when most of this stuff happened at TikTok. Love to hear that part of your connection.
Well, what I've learned in first creating my first book, Start Thinking Rich, I teamed up with my co-author, Dr. Brad Klontz, who actually pioneered this concept called money scripts. And this is our inherited belief about money, which we get from our parents, mostly bad things. But one ironically thing that sounds good, but actually is bad, and this comes from people who aren't born rich, and which most people, and they have a scarcity mindset. And so my dad immigrated from Mexico. My parents are both Mexican. And so I grew up with like parents who taught me these things, which again, most people think this is a good thing. In order to make a lot of money, you have to work really hard. Like, it has to be painful. And in fact, the more painful it is, probably the more money that you make. In order to make a lot of money, you also have to sacrifice, right? And I can list a bunch of other things that I imagine this isn't the first time you've heard this. And some people think, yes, that is what success is about. That's what makes money. That's what making a lot of money about. But when I watched T-Pain, accomplish this from making music, something that he loves to do, it made me realize that's not the only money script. And that's actually one that just is scarce. So when I stopped dancing, I actually created my first YouTube channel in 2010. I was posting videos online of how to dance the robot. And after 2 years, I made 45 cents. And after 2.5 years, I made $1,000. Now, at that time, I was working a 9 to 5. I had made $27,000 a year. So this $1,000 month was huge. And instead of wanting to celebrate like T-Pain did and get really drunk, I actually felt really guilty. I felt guilty because I didn't really work hard. I was dancing. I actually enjoyed it. It was fun. And it was more money than like what I was used to. So like I had to really change my mindset of like, no, I think this script of like making money being painful and working hard, there has to be a better way. And I learned, I think it's the money script I still have today, the more value I create, the more money I make.
Right.
So fast forward after that, I started to really change my mindset around money. I started to create offers. I was teaching dance online, and it grew to the number one place people learn how to dance the robot, which was my first business. And it ended up allowing me to quit my 9 to 5 once I made enough money from it. The pandemic was, a fast forward from there. I was now living in a van full time with my wife. We were nomads. And throughout that time, I started learning all the different fascinating ways you can make money online. Making money became like a game to me. I tried all the different things like drop shipping and e-commerce and everything except for selling feet pics. I tried it all. But living in the van, it became I became a contradiction because I lived in a van full time. I would share how much money I make, which again was a lot. It's like 6 figures a month. I was already a multi-millionaire, and people could not put those two together. Like, wait, you can either be a millionaire, but you can't live in a van. You can make 6 figures a month, but you can't choose to not have a home. And so I looked poor to people, but that's when my messages started to change, because I think people have a really bad perception of what wealth is. They think it's objects. They think I have to have fly private, have a mansion, have Ferrari. And I'm like, you know what? I'm more rich than most people because I actually own every hour of my day. It's all by choice. It's about time. Wealthy people, they have their time. That's kind of the message I started talking about, and I still talk about today.
I want to showcase this for the viewers on YouTube, because this is something also worth watching. I love content creators, and Adrian happens to not only create great stuff, but if you notice, he has numerous awards, a lot of them for YouTube, for his presence online and what you've grown. Content creation. You hinted at it in some of your dance stuff, and when you got a chance to see it. Would you have, if you were to like look back at the version you are today and when you were back then, would you agree with this statement? I was always a content creator.
That's so tough. I grew up, Facebook came out, I think, when I was in high school and became a thing in college. I don't think I was always a content creator. Like, I was a very average person on all those social media platforms. So I think
I'm going to hit the TO button. I'm going to hit the button. I'm just asking if you were a content creator. Meaning, look, you were probably creating dance moves. That's a piece of content. You probably were thinking about writing or thinking of ideas. There are plenty of authors out there who've been writing for decades. And certainly there was no social media or Facebook or anything in there. So specifically, have you always been a content creator?
I like that framework. And yes, definitely.
What is it about creating content that you truly appreciate?
I think it's a great outlet. I think what I create content on today, it's all by choice. And if actually no one watched, I would still do it. And I know this to be true, especially from my first days, because my first year, I had 7 subscribers, and the only person that was a frequent subscriber was my mom. So I created content for a whole year. My mom was the only person watching. Love you, Mom. And I still did it because I love the outlet of creating.
Now that I've set this up so nicely, Adrian, I want to ask this question, which I ask of all content creators. By creating this content, whether it's the videos you've done that have gone viral, whether it's the courses, whether it's teaching people how to do the robot, whether it's the dances you've done, by creating content, you have created a gift to the world. And the world gets to receive that gift, either learn from it, use it, watch it over and over again, be entertained, smile, whatever it might be. Yet there's always this happy accident that happens to the content creator themselves. When you put this stuff out there, you get a gift in return. I'm going to ask this specifically as I feature this now. You have just written an amazing book, which is certainly a piece of content, Adrian, which is basically Stay Thinking Rich. What is the gift that you have received in return by creating this awesome new book that everybody's going to get in their hands real soon?
The book just came out a couple weeks ago, and I've already started receiving messages of how people believe this is going to be the book that they read, where they finally got their stuff together with money, where they finally can feel like achieving financial freedom is possible. And with only being just a couple weeks out, I'm not getting messages. Here's the message I hope to receive one day, like a message years from now, or maybe sooner, of someone saying, Adrian, I actually retired today at 42. And I thought I was never going to retire. Or Adrian, I actually am now traveling to a place I've never have because I don't have to worry about my budget because I'm living intently off my income that my income makes. And really, like, I feel like this is what I want so badly. I think the world would be a better place if people didn't have money problems. I think when you don't have to worry about money, you live and operate without money problems, like, it doesn't mean whole life is all great. Now you have life problems, like, and I think they're deeper questions, like, what should I do with my life? How do I spend the rest of the time that I have? And it's hard to think like that when your questions are like, how do I pay rent? And how do I put food on the table? So I'm already starting to get a couple messages like that, of like early signs, like they feel like they've received the information that is going to catapult them. And that's the best indicator, at least right now, for just being a couple weeks out.
It's an interesting process, right? Like, and I would love to do this little comparison here from making a real short video about what you did this day in the van, or talking about where you made money that day, versus putting together a whole written stream of what is a way of thinking, from, let's call it, the very short form content to much longer form digestible content. I'm assuming that you probably enjoy doing a little bit of both, but what was different this time about the writing process, since this is your first book that you've ever written, correct? So
yeah.
So tell me the difference in creating that content. Yeah.
This might not be the best explanation. I'm super sorry for all the short form content creators there, but sometimes I feel like TikTok, when I create a TikTok, it feels like I have to be gimmicky or almost cheap in terms of creating an attractive hook that entices someone in a land full of everyone that has ADHD. So it's like, I need to say something outlandish or grand to try to get you to watch something for 15 seconds. And so I'm saying things that, are cringy. And I feel like this book, there's nothing cringe about it. Everything is written with like pure love and intent, and I have the ability to go more in depth onto the lessons where they can actually make an impact. It's hard to say, can someone watch a 15-second video of mine about money and change their life? I don't know if I've ever received a comment like that, but I know I have almost 2 million followers. I have over 60,000 customers. So I know it translates, but I think like a lot of times when I ask if I'm doing a live stream with my customers, I say, how long have you been following me for? No one says, I just watched a TikTok of you yesterday and I'm here. They're actually like, I've been following you for 2 years. So it's like 2 years of watching 15-second videos is essentially a long form piece of content that they've been consuming all along. And the book is there's no hacks or shortcuts. It's made of pure love to try to really make an in-depth impact. And I love the medium, and I know I'm going to write another one day.
You make a great point, Adrian. And this is so funny because I laugh about the cringeworthiness because we're in the midst of creating some content to promote the Thrive Loud production aspect of our business. And it's definitely like very catchy. It is, and it is very quick. They're all very fast. It's like almost like this shock factor question just to get your attention and then kind of drills through to an answer or new way of thinking. So it's actually no different than what the old 30-second commercials on television used to be, when television was the only way that we can do it. There'd be some loud person shouting at you, or, looking to save millions of dollars or whatever it be, right? There was always a hook. You needed a hook within this. The difference is that there's so many people doing it and figured out what these little hooks are to get your attention. It becomes frequent. And I hear what you're saying. It feels cheap in a weird way, but some of the content you create is really valuable, right? Even if it's like this one little point of it. And I think a lot of people love to watch because what might resonate with one person might not resonate with another, but that other person might resonate with something else. And that's why creating so much of that content helps to build a community, because I think most people have the expectation that everything you say isn't going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. So with that, because I do understand the effort that has to go through the book writing process, and you probably really enjoyed it and got to cherry pick the best of, is it okay to create content that is a little cringeworthy and maybe not the greatest thing in the world, or just to make sure that you create the content? Or is it worth only creating really eye-opening, popping content that really adds value?
It's a great question. I feel like one of my greatest strengths is being scrappy. If I look back on any of my videos, there's only a few that I think that was so amazing. I'm so proud of myself for making this. Most of the videos, I'm like scratching my head like, dang, I said that? Oh gosh, look at me. Like the background, you can see my underwear on the floor in the van. Like, it's like really, really scrappy. And I think I've created over 6,000 videos total, long form, short form. And to me, that's just scrappiness of being able to get over your own cringe factor, and hitting the publish button is way more valuable than trying to create like a Mona Lisa or trying to create the perfect next viral video. But I think that's different. I think that's not this is Adrian's way, which is the right way. Like I think of someone like Mr. Beast, who's perfected YouTube, and now he doesn't make a video every single day. Every time he makes a video, it has over 100 million views by default, and he spends millions of dollars on a video. So he is making the perfect video every single time. Yeah. So I think it depends on your style. Like to me, like I'm okay with hitting publish a lot and being scrappy, and that's my brand. I often launch things that have typos in it. I'm okay. I make errors, and I'm not a perfect person. So that's authentic to myself, is to hit publish a lot, share my thoughts, and know that they're usually unpolished.
I think every content creator goes through their scrappy phase, and this is probably the best message that we could leave. Whether you are producing podcasts, whether you're producing great videos or great learning channels, whatever it is, nobody starts off with that perfect polished product. It costs too much maybe to deliver there. You have to build to it. And I think in the way that you are thinking about how you build your wealth, you're helping to build that over time and change your mindset. And then eventually, look, you're always trying to make better content. I'm sure as great as this book is right here, I think it's valuable to know that whatever this next one is, your community and listeners can't wait for it, because they're probably going to get some value out of that, and they hope to get more, which is the question I have. It is hard to keep cranking out really great content. It is, or just any content at that matter. I mean, there's almost like a pressure to do it, but you have to love doing it. Do you ever rewind and go back to that initial thing, like when you just thought about, the one song that T-Pain came out with and it turned into dollars, or your first videos or whatever it might be? Is there something that always brings you back home that makes you understand this is why I do what I do?
Definitely. I have stories that my first 5 years as a creator was just dance. And there's a story I'll never forget till I die, because there was a story of, I've met many stories of people. What I learned actually wasn't really teaching dance. I was teaching people self-confidence, so much so that I actually have stories, a few, and I have to remember, I think over 30 million people I've taught how to dance, if you just added up all the video views on my tutorials. So 30 million people. I have 3 amazing stories. One of them I'll share is this girl in Hawaii who's suffering from a terrible depression in high school and had already attempted suicide. And then she started watching my videos on the internet, a nerdy Adrian teaching you how to do things like a body arm wave and like little dance moves. And she started building her self-confidence, and she ended up going to dance. She ended up getting self-confident. She performed at her high school talent show. She actually was really good at dance. And then she ended up going to, I'm really unfamiliar with dance major, but Juilliard, like a huge dance
Juilliard
school. And to me, it was like I feel like it's so weird to say this, but like dance videos like saved a life. Like, and what I learned is like the content you're creating, it's actually, more in depth. Like, why does someone want to learn how to dance? Is it because they just love the art? No, it could be something much deeper. Like they're really shy, introverted kid. They don't want to even sign up for dance classes in public because they don't like being seen. And then at the next prom, this kid goes in and he busts a move, and he's the most popular kid in the school. So it's self-confidence. But I think also in terms of content, I don't create content about dance anymore. I actually don't know. I'm not committing to anything that I'm going to create content on money for forever. And I know that I'm going to change. Like if you go on my Instagram right now, I was in Asia pretty much this whole year, and I'm talking about food. I'm loving it. And so like, I think because I have financial freedom, I'm going to create content on what fulfills me. And I'm not married to any niche in particular. I'm going to change on what makes me happy, because I got burnt out on dance. When I made it my full-time income and I was living off of it, I got totally burnt out. And I want to make sure that none of my other passions, like I don't want to start creating content on pickleball because I love pickleball. What if it turns into a pickleball business? Again, that might sound amazing to you, but to me, like, no, then I'll stop playing pickleball. So to me, like what financial freedom lets you operate by choice. And I think that's the position I want more people to operate in.
Love it. I was just going to state that we had one of the most amazing, he's a Hall of Fame professional speaker, one of the best marketing minds. We had Jay Baer, Baer, on this program, and Jay sold his consulting business, and his biggest passion has always been tequila. He's always been like a guru of it, and he literally just started with his assistant doing Tequila Jay Baer, and within like 3 months of launching this particular Instagram site where he was starting to review tequilas and give advice, he literally had grown more than he had in his like 30-year career in marketing, which was really funny, like what happens and how quickly the growth is. And he has become one of the biggest influencers around tequila, something he loves to do. And he's turned it into another amazing business.
Wow.
I think it's something though that you hit. It's the passion that you have, and it's following it when you're passionate for it. And I think that's great. I'm sure you're still passionate about dance, but maybe not as much. I'm sure right now you're very passionate about helping people change their mindset on money. And who knows what the next thing will be that you'll be passionate about. If it's pickleball, I think a lot of people beat us to the chase on that one. But maybe we'll just have a day like, somebody made a whole rap song out of the pickleball, the sound that it makes, because it makes
oh my gosh,
it's kind of a good beat.
That's too good.
Let's do this before we get to the fun street here. I love asking guests this program. You mentioned this to me before we hit record, and I'm sure this is part of it. Those that are thriving each day we love it. It's what drives you. It's keeping you excited. It's getting you to live the life that you want to live. Yet we all have those days when we're not quite kicking on all cylinders and we're a little off our game. Adrian, when you have trouble thriving, What practice do you seek, or maybe which individual do you seek out to get yourself back on the thriving track?
I feel like my Zen space for trying to get clarity of mind helps me when I'm feeling anxious. I have a sauna and a cold plunge. So I do like a contrast therapy, usually 3 rounds, 15 minutes in the sauna, and then like 1 to 3 minutes in the cold plunge. And I feel like every time I've done that, whatever worry or anxiety that I had beforehand is usually gone, or usually I at least have a clearer head because I feel so relaxed. I feel like that is my like mini sanctuary escape that I have here at home, and it really helps me just align that if I feel like I'm anxious. Also, if I feel like lack of sleep, or if like right now we're recording this on Thanksgiving week, which is the busiest week in the entire year for me. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is huge for anyone that sells online. This is not a fun week. This is a huge work week. I'm sun up to sundown, so I'm in that sauna cold plunge. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it pretty much every day because I need to that 1 hour of peace.
You know what? It is a lot of work this week. I was just discussing this because I'm going up to travel for the holiday, and I've been jamming since I don't even know what hour this morning. Although we did talk about I was playing pickleball at 6:45 in the morning, but I want to crunch everything in that has to get done because you're right. There's so much to do, and then there's like a natural stop. Like everything stops once we hit Thanksgiving, and then you got to get everything done. But let's hope for both of us it's a good week here. Let's do the admin part of the show, Adrian. Share with the listeners all the places people can find you. Websites, URLs, TikTok handles, Instagram handles, whatever it is. We will put it on the show notes. It gets more engagement when they hear it from you.
Awesome. You can find me anywhere at Adrian Brambila. My new book that just came out, Start Thinking Rich, is available where all books are. But if you go to startthinkingrich.com/Lou, you're going to get a special link. It has extra bonuses. That's just the way I can say thanks for having me on the podcast for all your listeners.
Oh, I love it. We are going to put that note in there. We're going to make it loud. Make it Lou D. Make it Lou D so that they know that it's Thrive Loud. They'll connect it that way. Does that work?
Let's do it.
All right.
That works.
Is Adrian ready to go down Fun Street here on Thrive Loud?
I hope so. Let's go.
I love getting him nervous, which is kind of funny to do. It's really not that difficult, but he seems to be able to handle it. All right. Can you share with the listeners potentially what is one of your favorite all-time movies? One that when it's on, you just feel you got to go watch it. Can't turn it off. If it's on like a cable channel, you're in. If it's on streaming, you're plugged in.
The original Matrix number 1. It unlocked a whole world of action, and at the time it was like it just changed the way we look at it was like sci-fi and future, and I just love the entire concept. It's also a great like attractive character, like the come up of someone that was living kind of in like the Matrix. Like it's a great analogy of like I think life of most people, that they're stuck in this system, and like there's actually the whole system is rigged. Like there's like it's like this whole fake AI thing. And so it just blew my mind. And I don't know how many times I watch it, but I will, if it's always on a flight, I'll always watch it over something new. Like it's just my go-to.
It was on this month on some channels. It's been running, and they've been showing the original 3 Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolution, like one after the other. And yeah, it's hard not to watch it. And then I saw the one that they rebooted, whatever it was, the one that they brought back of like, 20 years later. I forgot the name of the movie, but
they ruined it.
Yeah, no, I know. It's not as good.
Oh, wait, you liked it? I didn't think it was that good.
All right. No, so I loved 1 and 2. I'm not so sure I was crazy about 3. But
3 was okay. It was the 4th one.
Yeah, the 4th one. Yeah, the 4th one was. It was a cash. It was an ATM check. They just said, we know we can make more money out of this. And they already lost him to John Wick, so I wasn't exactly sure how. By the way, we have to talk about him. That Keanu Reeves has managed to have 2 epic franchises, like epic in the movie world. I mean, like cult following, and Matrix, Neo more notably, but John Wick is just amazing. I can't get enough of it. So, I digress. All right. We're going to do the speed round. We're going to go the Speakeasy Pub Crawl. We're going to stroll down Fun Street, stop at all of Adrian's favorite places. Here we go. this is a good question to ask you. Of late, is there a song that's been like your jam, or one that currently pumps you up, one that's on your playlist that you can't quite get away from?
I feel like I have to. It'd be wrong for me to say all I do is Win by T-Pain, but the truth is I don't listen to him. I don't listen to him. He's like, he has good club music, but you don't really want to listen to him on a daily basis. But dude, indie artists, FKJ, and I feel like all of his songs are super dope. Oh my gosh, I feel embarrassing because I listen to this every day, and I actually don't know the name because there's barely any words in it. It's called Tadao. Okay. It's a great song. It's always in my sauna almost every single day on the regular. It's kind of like lo-fi. You ever listen to lo-fi?
Yeah, I got it. Perfect. Yeah. FKJ Indie. Team is on it. Okay. Adrian, a favorite food that's not a dessert?
Favorite food, not a dessert, sushi. I was in Japan for earlier this year, had the best sushi of my life. Now I can't have it in the States, but a chutoro, a piece of chutoro sushi is the best.
Years ago, I got to go to the Tokyo fish market when they auctioned off a tuna right then and there. And then they literally celebrated by eating a piece of the tuna. And then I went for breakfast. I was the only gaijin in a sushi restaurant for breakfast with the fish that was just auctioned off. It was insane. It was for unbelievable experience. Favorite dessert?
Cheesecake. Classic cheesecake. Nothing on it. Keep it boring. Keep it vanilla. Cheesecake.
An activity you wish you did more of?
I wish I did trap shooting more. Every time I go, it's super awesome. Like clay pigeon, it's such a blast, but I feel like I haven't gone in 3 months. But every time I go, it's amazing.
An activity you wish you did less of?
Activity I wish I did less of. Check email.
A new activity, one that Adrian has recently tried, that he likes so much he wants to tell all of our listeners to try as well.
I'm so new to this. I don't know if I'm ready for full out testimonial, but I just experienced my first red light therapy. In Austin, there's this huge health culture, right? So like they got me to sauna and cold plunge. These are things I never thought I would do. And they're like, oh, you got to do one more thing. It's red light therapy. It's like 15 minutes a day. And I don't know if it's placebo or not, but it's supposed to be good for your skin and your brain and all this stuff. And every time I do it, I'm like, yeah, I guess I feel better. But so I think I'm in my third session in. I'm like, all right, I think this could be a routine.
I like it. We had on the 1000th episode of Thrive Loud, we had Jean M. Stafford who shared that with me. It was the first time I'd ever heard of it. And I asked her, I said something along the lines of like, red light there, what is that? She goes, it's wonderful. That's all you need to go look it up. It's exactly what it was.
That's good.
Adrian, if I could snap my fingers and you could be anywhere in the world, where are you?
I'm back in Kyoto, Japan during a cherry blossom season. I'm walking Philosopher's Path. I'm sitting out on a picnic and just enjoying coffee or tea, and I'm just living my best Japan life.
Adrian Brambila, everyone go check him out. Start Thinking Rich. There's the book. I'll put it on for the YouTubers here that can check it on out and they can make sure they see it, know where to get it. We'll put all the links there. Hey man, thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for changing the way we all think, and keep putting out that great content. I like how now you're now going to think about everything you do now in a more content light. I see that happening for you. So I'm kind of excited about it. And thank you so much for coming on the program.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was a blast.
You got it. To all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.